Here you can see the entire production process of Skoda cars. A new Skoda is produced every 60 seconds, and it takes just 25 hours from the steel plate to leaving this factory. The production of every Skoda starts in the press shop. This is where the various body parts are pressed: doors, roof, bonnet, etc. This gigantic pressing machine creates 25,000 body parts every day. The average salary of these Skoda Auto employees is 1,600 euros per month. After being checked, the body parts are transported to the warehouse in the press shop. The second step in the manufacturing process is welding the entire bodywork. The welding of the entire bodywork can be done almost automatically by robots. This part of the production of Skoda is called robots dancing. The latest fourth generation of the Skoda Superb luxury car is produced inside this factory. The Skoda Superb is a mid-size family car that has been produced in Central Europe since 2001. As you can see right now, a factory worker gently slides the car's front dashboard in and proceeds to connect the wiring to the car's control unit. Fitting the car with all the headlights is easy and only requires an electric screwdriver. These workers can fit hundreds of headlights in one shift. The headlamp assembly is made mainly of plastic with a reflective panel, light source, and lens. 2 employees are always needed to install the front and rear windows. In more modern factories, this is done automatically by robots. Compared to previous generations, the 4th generation Superb is longer and taller, offering even more space for crew and cargo. The Superb's engine lineup, which is currently on offer, has 6 variants: petrol, diesel, mild hybrid, and plug-in hybrid. Development of the Skoda Superb and Volkswagen Passat was carried out jointly and under the direction of the Skoda. Production of the Skoda Superb in Slovakia begins with body parts. Many of them are pressed in the Bratislava plant and assembled in the new body shop. In less than 2 years, Skoda Auto has installed more than 500 state-of-the-art production machinery and control management equipment, along with advanced technology bonding of parts. It was also important to establish cooperation with new suppliers. During the modernization of this factory, many automation handling devices were introduced. The area of chassis production has also been modified too, so that plug-in hybrid versions can be produced on the same line. By using different conveyor technologies, including driverless AGV transport, the assembly line is optimized. KUKA robotic arms equipped with welding heads perform spot welds to join various frame and body components. The process of putting on the front mask is, as you can see for yourself, very similar to other Skoda models. This Skoda factory employee is wearing neither gloves nor helmet nor goggles. I wonder how this is possible. The range of modern and economical power units includes 3 petrol engines with outputs ranging from 110 kilowatts to 195 kilowatts and 2 diesel engines with outputs of 110 kilowatts and 142 kilowatts. Most of the production processes and procedures within the Volkswagen Group are very similar across all plants. Of course, standardization makes planning, etc., easier. Over 1.7 million Skoda Superb cars have been produced to date. This statistic is a good indication of the popularity of this luxury Skoda model. Please let me know how you like the 4th generation Skoda Superb, or do you prefer Kodiaq, Kamiq, Enyaq, Octavia, or Karoq? After the assembly of these Slovak workers in Skoda is completed, the car will be transported for quality control. If you are interested in working for Skoda Auto in the Czech Republic or Slovakia, be sure to check out the Skoda Auto Career website for vacancies. Last year, the Skoda Superb was Skoda's 7th best-selling model. Of course, that's no mean feat. The reason, of course, is the premium model's higher price. In the quality management segment, water resistance and other vehicle features are tested. The new Skoda is finally loaded onto the truck and taken to the car dealership. Now let's take a look at the production of Skoda's most popular and best-selling model. Specifically, of course, the production of the latest 4th generation Skoda Octavia. The orange and yellow robots are from KUKA and Fanuc robots. More than 4,000 robots work at the Skoda factory. Welding, handling, and bonding are the most automated. Robotics makes the most sense for routine and especially physically demanding activities. The entire process of bodywork welding is, of course, supervised by the control center staff. Robots can weld dozens of bodywork joints in seconds. They can make linear movements in a straight line with incomparably greater precision and certainty than the most skilled surgeon. Quality inspectors will now check the checklist, the quality of the welded bodywork. The third stage is painting the bodywork. The painting has a total of 4 layers. The robots are controlled by a worker via computer. The coating layer is perfectly even and flawless thanks to the robots. One of the 4 layers of the car's paintwork, known as the primer, is now significantly thinner than before, thanks to an innovative technology. This change delivers significant savings on material. The important point is that the resulting paintwork retains the existing first-class quality in terms of appearance, durability, and protective function. Needless to say, the new technology has been rigorously tested. For 10 months, the company exposed vehicles painted in the new way to direct sunlight, dust, and gravel impacts, simulating a wide range of climatic conditions during the tests. The tests confirmed that the new material is at least as durable as the previous solution. To dry the bodywork faster, the Octavia will pass through this tunnel. In this sauna, the drying time of the paintwork is reduced. In this bright room full of LED lights, the quality of the final paintwork is checked. Irregularities are possibly patched manually. The paint thickness meter controls the work of the robots in the paint shop. If the paintwork is okay, the bodywork is then sent to the main assembly line. The main assembly line is the heart of the entire factory in Mladá Boleslav. The speed of the conveyor belt with cars is 6 meters per minute. The entire front dashboard of the new Octavia is pre-manufactured in another part of the factory. The inside of the cabin is now inserted as a single piece. Once the decking has been inserted, staff will prepare the cabling and attach the deck panel to the body using screws. Price of the upgraded Octavia 4th generation according to the official price list starts at 24,000 euros. The finished chassis is now automatically connected to the body. This moment is called the marriage. This production line produces one new car every 58 seconds. It's the moment when the mechanical elements of the car, the engine, gearbox, drive shafts, axles, fuel tank, and various other components are fitted to the car's body all at once. The main assembly line is now continuing the installation of all the lights, including the first lighting. The front bonnet of the Skoda Octavia 4th generation can be fitted in seconds by 2 employees. When the wheels are put on, the cars are lifted using brackets in the factory ceiling. Here, the worker does not have to hold the entire weight of the wheels due to the overweighting. The bolts on the wheels are automatically tightened with this giant gun. This will tighten them to a predetermined force. At the start of the main assembly line, the doors are removed to allow employees easy access to the car's cab. Only now they are reassembled. The electrician now begins to set up and check the car's electronics. 4 generations of the modern-era Octavia model have been introduced to date, delivered with 5-door liftback or 5-door estate styles only. The car is front-engined, and both front or 4-wheel drive are offered. The cars are now fully mobile and are being taken for final quality control. Here, the staff will check the exterior as well as the interior of the car. They also focus on the correct fit of the doors and bonnet. The lighting in this LED tunnel provides ideal conditions for inspection. Everything on the car must be in perfect condition. If this employee had found a fault, the cause will be investigated and a recurrence prevented. After successful completion of the quality check, the car will move to the quality test polygon immediately next to the assembly plant. Every Skoda Octavia will undergo this test. It takes around 12 minutes to drive around this circuit. The test drivers check, for example, the handbrake, body rigidity, and brakes. They also test the noise level inside the car, turn signals, wipers, horn, shifting, acceleration, and braking behavior. This is what clay modeling looks like at Skoda. It's a way of pre-visualizing concepts to help make decisions before cars go into production. It's expensive, but it's worth it for the car company. Now you can compare how the assembly line of Skoda's largest SUV, the 2nd generation Skoda Kodiaq. This is how the interior of the 2nd generation of the Skoda Kodiaq looks like. In production from October 2023. The production process is very similar for all Skoda models. Now the Kodiaq chassis is being joined to the bodywork. On some Skoda models, including the Kodiaq, the chassis and 25% of the body structure is made of pressed hardened steel. Production of the Skoda Superb has been completely moved to Bratislava. More Kodiaqs and Kamiqs can therefore be produced here in Kvasini. After screwing in the main screws, the connections of the entire chassis to the Kodiaq's cabin is complete. This Skoda Kodiaq in Gold Bronx Metallic is now moving on to the next assembly site. Please let me know in the comments section what color Skoda Kodiaq you personally like the most. This production line is capable of producing up to 400 Skoda Kodiaqs every day, 7 days a week. For the first time, the Kodiaq is now also available as a plug-in hybrid with a pure electric range of over 100 kilometers. Over 900,000 Skoda Kodiaqs have been produced globally since production began in 2016. The basic wheels on the Kodiaq are 17 inches. For larger 18-inch or 19-inch wheels, you have to pay extra. A wheel assembly manipulator with lifting arms and a rotating spindle is used to mount the wheels on the hub. A wheel assembly manipulator with lifting arms and a rotating spindle is used to mount the wheels on the hub. The Kodiaq is based on the Volkswagen Group MQB platform. Volkswagen Tiguan and Seat Tarraco are also built on this platform. The Skoda Kodiaq is still in great demand among European drivers. The waiting time for a new car is in the order of months. The finished car will now be transported to the control station. The appearance check is an important part of production. The quality test polygon is a relatively short test track consisting of various types of surfaces and hazards that thoroughly test the quality of the car's construction. On the polygon, the cars complete 2 circuits, each approximately 450 meters long, and each with slightly different hazards. The entire process takes about 12 minutes to complete, including the time it takes to drive the car there from the factory. Now the Skoda Kodiaq is ready to be loaded and taken to the car dealer. Here, the airflow at the surface of the Skoda Enyaq RS in Stuttgart is tested. The aerodynamics of the car are important to keep the drag coefficient as low as possible. Production logistics, automation, and robotization are at the innovation is driving development forward. Skoda was gradually privatized to the German multinational conglomerate Volkswagen Group in 1991, became a partial subsidiary in 1994, and a wholly owned subsidiary in 2000. Investment in the conversion of this production line for Enyaq at the Mlada Boleslav plant amounts to 32 million euros. The Enyaq IV is Skoda's first production model that was conceived from the outset as a pure battery car. The Skoda Enyaq IV is a battery electric compact crossover SUV. The battery in the Skoda Enyaq IV is located in the entire floor between the front and rear axles of the car. Thanks to the heavy battery in the floor, the center of gravity of this SUV ideal for passing the rollover test. The Enyaq is the first model of a new naming convention within the Skoda's range, where electric models' names will start with E. Enyaq has smart LED headlights that use less energy and adapt to their surroundings. The most powerful variant is this Enyaq RS, with two motors having a combined power of 225 kilowatts. Employees in Skoda auto factories have a mandatory dress code. Must wear protective pants, company t-shirt, protective gloves when coming to work, and for some positions, goggles and earplugs. The Enyaq IV also has a Sportline variant with a different interior and exterior styling and extended standard features. As you can see for yourself, the door fitting process for all Skoda models and in all Skoda factories is identical. The lighting of the lights and subsequent testing of the electronics is controlled by the connection of the test module to the Enyaq onboard computer. This Skoda Enyaq i80X model was introduced in September 2020. The price started at 57,000 euros. This toothed wheel controls the gap between the door and the bodywork. The gap must be the same size everywhere. To keep the test drivers on pace as the cars roll off the production line, 15 test drivers work each shift. Every car takes the same route, no model has concessions. In case the drivers have a comment on the car goes to the axle-on, and after the discrepancy is corrected, the car heads back for a test drive. The Czech factory in Květiny has been producing the Skoda Karoq since 2017. The main assembly line starts with the assembly of all the lights of this popular SUV. The Skoda Karoq is Skoda's third best-selling model. In total, more than 800,000 Karoqs have been produced. From 2022, this upgraded version with a better design is produced. In total, the Karoq can be purchased in 60 countries worldwide. "65% of Karoq sold are TSI petrol and 35% TDI. The Karoq's dimensions are between the Skoda Kamiq and Skoda Kodiaq. "60% of Karoqs are in automatic and 40% in manual transmission. The most popular colors are gray quartz, black magic, and white moon. Conceptually, it primarily targets women. For the first few years, Skoda Karoq was also produced in Mladá Boleslav and Germany. After production and quality control, the new Karoq heads to the test track. If there is any problem during this test drive, the car will be handed over to quality control to find out where and why the fault occurred. Every new car from the Skoda factory in Kvasini that passes through this test circuit should be in perfect condition. The facelift version of the third-generation Skoda Octavia went into production in 2017. There are currently a huge number of them on European roads. The thickness of one layer of varnish is typically around 100 microns, roughly equivalent to the thickness of a human hair. The quality of the resulting paint is of course maintained. Before the new method was applied, vehicles painted in the new way were thoroughly tested. Skoda Auto exposed the bodywork to direct sunlight, dust, and stones for 10 months and simulated a wide range of climatic conditions in tests. Tests have confirmed that the new material lasts at least as long as the previous painting method. Car company logos are usually easy to attach to the bodywork. Emblems are usually glued on. When ordering a skylight, the whole, as one unit, is inserted through the front window space using a bracket. The worker starts connecting the vehicle's main systems, such as the pedals, which are wired directly into the ECU. The facelifted version of the third generation is recognizable at a glance. The main feature is the split front headlights. The headlights are halogen, LED at extra cost. Some people like these lights, but there is a large crowd of people who don't like them. With the change in WLTP emission measurements, effective from the 31st production week 2018, all petrol engines have received an OPF. Upholstery and roof lining must be provided by factory staff assemble each car themselves. At a large number of sites, employees work in tandem, with each person on one side of the truck. This factory has several floors, and the car bodies are often moved using automated elevators. Employees are helped to find their way around by large information boards with time on them, the number of cars produced, or the designation of cars currently being assembled. Two Skoda employees always have to attach the rear and front windows of the car by gluing them to the bodywork. They use a special extra strong glue. The gap between the window and the bodywork must be within the standard and ideally identical along the entire window. Slow-moving production line with split cars slowly rolls across the assembly line. Each employee has a maximum time limit to complete all tasks on the car that must be completed before the car moves on to the next station. At the same time that the interior of the vehicle is being worked on, in another part of the hall, the chassis of the future Octavia 3 facelift version is made. The Octavia RS version boosts the 2.0 TSI to 180 kilowatts and thus replacing the RS 245 version and adopting its better technology. Connecting the chassis to which the engine is already attached to the car body is a precise, almost surgical operation. Everything fits together beautifully. The eternal dilemma with the Octavia is whether to choose the Combi variant or not. Let me know what are the pros and cons for you. Once all wheels are on, the car moves lower again, and the employee gracefully and quickly slides the steering wheel on. After assembly of all seats, these are wrapped in protective plastic, all the car doors are reattached. Compared to the classic third generation, the facelift version has a more distinctive and differently shaped bonnet. However, the rear of the car remains almost unchanged. The interior gets a much larger display in the top version, which has been given a 9.2-inch diagonal. Now the worker fills the entire fuel tank for the first time so that the Skoda Octavia can finally be started and taken for quality control. Each worker here takes turns checking one car after another. No matter what model it is, he knows exactly what he has to check, or she. The farthest dealer where you can buy a Skoda Octavia directly is in Christchurch. Skoda Auto is the largest Czech company by sales, over 23 billion euros. Feeler gauges made of silicone in different sizes to check the gaps between panels. Skoda's factory complexes in the center of Europe are huge complexes with a huge surface area. This polygon at the M1 Hall was the first of its kind in Mlada Boleslav. Skoda cars have been running on it since 1994. Every car is put through the same testing. No model is exempt. If the drivers want to flag up a potential problem, the car is sent to what is known as the reconditioning center. Once the issue has been rectified, it is sent back for another test drive. This is a production first-generation Skoda Kodiaq, but after a facelift. Older versions of the Skoda Kodiaq are now available to buy at the car dealer. The lower price is usually accompanied by a higher use of the car's interior. The lights of this Skoda Kodiaq are fitted in no time. Working environment in the factory on this assembly hall is very pleasant compared to car plants in the United States. In America, there tends to be a lot of noise, less light, and generally more confusion and stress inside car factories. The tires are fitted to the vehicle using a multi-nut wheel gun, which distributes the torque evenly over all the bolts. The Skoda factories in the Czech Republic allow 2-hour factory tours. Skoda is gradually electrifying its entire model range and plans to invest more than 1 billion euros. In the crash test safety rating from Euro NCAP, the Skoda Kodiaq received 5 stars out of 5. The cars will also undergo a car wash within the factory complex before being transported to dealerships. The top engine is the 2.0 by TDI-176 kilowatts, which is only paired with a 7-speed DSG automatic and 4x4 all-wheel drive. It was therefore terminated in June 2020 due to emission limits. The cars in this car park are ready for transport to the shops. They are wrapped in protective plastic. This is what the production of the Skoda Enyaq IV Coupe looks like. Its price starts from approximately 50,000 euros. Virtual Cockpit 5.3-inch color display shows basic layout, navigation, assistance systems, and final statistics. The Coupe or Furf is available from spring 2022. In total, over 220,000 Skoda Enyaqs have been produced so far. Simultaneously with the production of the body and chassis in another part of the factory, the battery cells for the Enyaq Coupe are forced. The lithium-ion battery has a capacity of 62 kilowatt-hours. Skoda produces an average of 800 high-voltage batteries here every day. The longest possible range of the Enyaq with the largest battery is around 520 kilometers. Robotic arms now apply a layer of glue. This also serves as a thermal insulation layer. The Enyaq Coupe R can be charged, for example, using the Skoda 5 Charger Wallbox AC charger with a power output of up to 11 kilowatts. Charging thus takes 6 to 8 hours. Orange color indicates high voltage, usually above 60 volts. The Skoda Enyaq IV battery charges from 10% to 80% in 30 minutes. Skoda Enyaq Coupe Cut4 offers 2 different battery capacities and 3 power levels. Volkswagen's modular electric vehicle platform, MAB batteries, are located in the floor between the front and rear axles. However, Volkswagen is currently considering closing its Chinese factory in Shanghai, where the Skoda Enyaq is currently produced. Competition from Chinese EVs is extreme there. However, Volkswagen is currently considering closing its Chinese factory in Shanghai, where the Skoda Enyaq is currently produced. Competition from Chinese EVs is extreme there. The process of installing a lithium-ion battery starts with the cells already charged to 20%, ensuring they are ready to be integrated into the vehicle's power system. The battery is connected to the test station, and several tests are performed. This tests the capacity and overall freshness of the battery. Once completed, the battery is moved to a giant battery block storage facility. From there, the batteries are transported to the assembly hall at a predetermined time. This warehouse maintains the best humidity and temperature. This is to maintain ideal conditions for battery cell storage. The entire production process is an advanced logistics solution. The cars are assembled like a giant jigsaw puzzle, piece by piece, until the final car. The finished batteries are now transported to the main assembly hall, where they are attached to the chassis. Here, the battery is mounted to the chassis between the front and rear axle. The transporter brings the chassis and the battery block from the other side. The assembly is lifted into place and attached to the vehicle body, thus completing the marriage process. The length of the conveyor in the main assembly hall is more than 1 kilometer. The drive unit is lifted onto the cavity and secured in place with structural bolts to complete the marriage. After the chassis and body are joined, the assembly of the front and rear headlights begins. The lights can be switched on immediately after connection. The installation of all 4 Skoda Enyaq wheels continues. Skoda Enyaq Coupe has 19-inch anthracite polished Regulus wheels in the basic version. The interior of the Enyaq is now almost complete. The door is brought in at the same time as the overhead conveyor and mounted on the joints on the bodywork. The boot capacity is 585 liters. There are 131 LEDs in the front grille. High beam headlights are matrix LED. A digital instrument for checking electrical and sheet metal signals is inserted into the OBD port and used to check functionality. I can't imagine there is anyone among the viewers of this video who doesn't like the Enyaq IV Coupe. If you do, please let me know in the comments section. 20% of women work at Skoda. They are usually employed in positions such as quality control. They do not usually work on the main assembly line. Here, staff are responsible for ensuring that every customer gets their money's worth of car of the highest possible quality. In this illuminated LED tunnel, only appearance is checked, not functionality. Quality inspectors must have a great eye for detail. This is Skoda Elroq production line. It is Skoda Auto, latest all-electric compact SUV, marking a significant step in the brand's electrification strategy. Production commenced in January 2025 at the company's main plant in Mladá Boleslav, Czech Republic. The Elroq's production process is integrated into the existing assembly lines, which also produce the Enyaq and Octavia. To accommodate the Elroq's daily production of up to 600 units, part of the Octavia's production was relocated to the Kavasini plant in 2024. In a notable departure from traditional methods, Skoda employed virtual prototypes during the Elroq's development. The first test cars were built directly on the production line, integrating various departments such as welding, painting, and assembly. Last year, this factory reached a significant milestone by producing its 1 millionth battery system. These batteries are used not only in Skoda's electric models, but also in vehicles from other Volkswagen Group brands, underscoring the plant's importance in the group's electrification efforts. The Mladá Boleslav plant's ability to produce both electric and combustion engine vehicles on the same line exemplifies Skoda's commitment to flexibility and efficiency in manufacturing. By leveraging shared resources and infrastructure, Skoda can swiftly respond to market shifts and consumer preferences. The Elroq's production at this facility reaffirms its strategic role as the heart of Skoda's operation. By the July of 2025, Skoda had received over 45,000 orders for the Elroq, indicating robust interest in the compact electric SUV. In its home market of Czechia, the Elroq made a notable debut. In January 2025, it entered the sales charts at number 23, just behind the Enyaq, Skoda's larger electric SUV. Internationally, the Karoq has been well received. In Germany, for instance, early adopters reported high demand, with some dealerships selling over 100 units shortly after its release. Priced from €33,900 in several European markets, the Karoq is positioned as one of the most affordable electric SUVs in its segment. It offers competitive features, including a range of up to 581 kilometers and fast charging capabilities, making it an attractive option for budget-conscious consumers. Last year, Skoda became the fourth best-selling car brand in Europe, surpassing competitors like Renault, Peugeot, and Audi. Skoda Auto delivered 930,000 vehicles globally last year, marking a 7% increase compared to the previous year.